Truck driver dies during the 3 days of darkness, and Jesus reveals who will survive. My name is Daniel Hart. I've driven trucks across this country for almost 30 years. Long highways, empty nights, the hum of the engine keeping me awake when my thoughts got heavy. And what I'm about to tell you still doesn't sound real when I say it out loud, but it happened. I didn't die in a church. I didn't die praying. I died alone in my truck in the middle of something people now call the 3 days of darkness. And during that time, I met Jesus. It started in the middle of the crisis, not the beginning. The sky had already gone wrong. I was on Interstate 40, somewhere between Flagstaff and Albuquerque, hauling refrigerated goods. It was just after midnight when the headlights ahead of me vanished. Not dimmed, not faded, gone, like someone flipped a switch on the world. My dashboard lights flickered, the radio went dead, my phone lost signal completely. And then the darkness came, thick, heavy, unnatural. Not the kind of dark you get at night. This felt like it pressed against the windshield, like it had weight. I slowed the truck, heart pounding, because every instinct in my body was screaming that something was wrong, really wrong. That's when I heard the voice, not out loud, inside me, calm, steady, familiar in a way I couldn't explain. Do not be afraid. I gripped the steering wheel and whispered, "Who said that?" And before I could process anything else, the truck jerked violently to the left. I remember the sound of metal screaming, the weight of the trailer pulling me sideways, then the sickening feeling of losing control. I didn't think about God. I didn't think about heaven or hell. I thought, this is how it ends. The truck rolled once, twice, glass exploded. My head slammed against something hard. The seatbelt crushed into my chest, and then nothing. But death wasn't nothing. The first thing I felt was panic, raw animal panic, like drowning without water. I tried to breathe and couldn't. My lungs burned even though there was no air to fight against. Then suddenly the pain stopped. I was aware, completely, more aware than I'd ever been in my life, and I realized I was looking down at my truck from above. I could see the wreckage, the twisted cab, emergency lights in the distance that looked muted, like they were underwater, and I saw my own body, slumped, unmoving, blood on my face. I remember thinking, that can't be me. Time didn't make sense anymore. Seconds stretched, thoughts felt instant. I didn't feel sleepy or peaceful. I felt exposed, like every thought I'd ever had was suddenly visible. I had spent years believing in nothing but what I could touch. I wasn't religious. I wasn't searching. I was a working man who believed if you stayed decent, worked hard, and didn't hurt people, that was enough. I was wrong. The darkness around me wasn't just absence of light. It felt aware. Not evil exactly, but empty, like a place where hope didn't exist. And then the light came. It didn't rush in. It didn't explode. It arrived, soft at first, then overwhelming, not blinding, but revealing. As the light grew, the darkness didn't fight it. It retreated. And in that light, there was a presence. I didn't see a face right away. I felt him, a knowing so deep it bypassed thought. This presence knew my name, knew every mile I'd ever driven, every lie I'd told myself. Every quiet moment I ignored something stirring in my heart. I wanted to run and I wanted to fall at the same time. When I finally looked up, I saw him, Jesus. Not the stained glass version, not the soft painting you see in churches. His eyes were alive, deep, strong, filled with a love that didn't flatter me, but didn't crush me either. He said my name, Daniel. And hearing it from him broke me. I tried to speak, tried to explain myself, tried to say I wasn't a bad person, that I'd worked hard, that I'd provided, that I'd done my best. But none of that mattered, not because it was worthless, but because it wasn't enough. He didn't accuse me, he didn't list my sins, he simply showed me the truth. My life unfolded around us, not like a movie, but like understanding. I saw every moment I'd chosen pride over humility, control over trust, effort over surrender. I saw how I believed survival depended on me, how I believed goodness could be earned. And then he spoke words I'll never forget. You tried to save yourself. There was no anger in his voice, just sadness, like a father watching a child struggle to carry something too heavy. I said, I didn't know. And he said, you were searching, but you were searching in the dark. Then he showed me something else. I saw people during those days of darkness, some afraid, some angry, some praying for the first time in their lives. And I understood, not intellectually, but deeply, that survival wasn't about strength or preparation or being morally better than others. It was about relationship. Jesus showed me how when everything else is stripped away, power, certainty, identity, only those who trust him will stand. Not because they earned it, but because they belong to him. I realized then how small my efforts were compared to his grace. I felt exposed, but safe, known, but loved. I asked him, is it too late? He stepped closer, and the light intensified, not brighter, but warmer. You are here because it is not too late. Then suddenly I felt a pull, a violent pull, like being dragged backward through a tunnel. Pain slammed into me, my chest convulsed, air tore into my lungs like fire. I heard shouting, hands pounding on my body. I woke up screaming. Paramedics stared at me like they'd seen a ghost. One of them kept saying, he was gone, he was gone. I later learned my heart had stopped for several minutes, long enough that they'd nearly called it. The days after were harder than the darkness. People laughed it off, called it a hallucination, shock, trauma. My boss told me not to talk about it. My brother said I was tired and imagining things, but I couldn't shake his voice, his eyes, the way he said my name. I started reading the Bible for the first time in my life, not to prove anything, just to understand. And what I found wasn't rules, it was invitation. I lost friends, I lost comfort, I lost the illusion that faith would make life easier, but I gained peace I never had while trying to control everything. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because I was certain I was fine until I wasn't. If you're listening to this and you feel that quiet tug inside you, that sense that there's more, you're not crazy and you're not alone. You don't have to earn your way to God. He already came to you. And if you're searching, if the darkness feels close, call his name, because when everything else disappears, he remains.